Hello and welcome everyone to Gold Asset of the Day for the 9th of July, where we will be reviewing gold prices for the week ahead. So first of all, what do you need to know for this week? We have seen yet again hedge funds and money managers, they've increased their net long positions on gold significantly in the latest week. Now that data has been delayed slightly due to the US holiday that we had last week on the 4th of July. And as such, we're now starting to see some support for gold, in fact, coming in around 1,390 US dollars per ounce. So we've definitely seen a pullback on gold here, following on from Friday's non-farm payrolls. That number was much stronger than expected. We've seen a significant breakout on the US dollar, breaking out to 3-week highs. That's then pushed gold back below 1,400 US dollars per ounce. In fact, we capitalized on the breakout last week. We discussed the exact ranges that we were looking at, and we in fact saw that breakout on Tuesday through to Wednesday, a breakout back towards 1,437 US dollars per ounce, where we in fact at the Gold and Silver Club banked 230 points profit on our long position. Now, as we go forward for this week, we're looking at ranges within support around 1385 to 1390, and then with a potential move up towards, well, above 1400, up towards the 1410 to 1420 zone, if we can pick up some traction around this level of support. So essentially, I'm looking at around a 350 to 400 point range for this week. Now, technically, if you look at the weekly chart, which I have behind me at the moment, it does look bearish. That's from a technical point of view. You've seen this time and time again over the last month or so. A lot of retail traders have been on the wrong side of these positions. They've been liquidated from technical setups where they've been selling short into a lot of these pullbacks on gold, only to then get liquidated. Another example being last week, where this time last week we saw gold trading around 1,393 US dollars per ounce, only then to break out all the way up to 1,437. That said, you do want to look for evidence of support around these levels. You want to see whether gold will get a bid around the 1385 to 1390 zone. We're at 1390 right now. We also have Jerome Powell scheduled to speak later on today. So essentially, following on from non-farm payrolls on Friday, that headline number was very strong. And therefore, there's a lot of speculation as to what the Federal Reserve are going to now do with respect to cutting interest rates, how much of an interest rate cut we're going to get at the end of July on the FOMC statement, which is scheduled for the 31st of July. So with that, we really want to watch out for the narratives today. We want to see what Jerome Powell says during the speeches today, and also on Wednesday we have the minutes of the FOMC as well. So we could definitely see some highly volatile moves here for gold, not only on gold, in fact, platinum too. So we caught a breakout yesterday in platinum, quick 80-point profit, in fact, on the platinum breakout yesterday. We're now actually awaiting to see whether platinum will revisit around that 800 US dollar per ounce level. And if we do see evidence of buying coming back in, I would also keep that on your radar as well, especially platinum around that 800 zone tends to be well supported. 800 down to approximately 780 US dollars per ounce. The dollar at the moment is trading around 3-week highs. You've still got that momentum following on from Friday's non-farm payrolls, where you have a stronger data than expected. Bear in mind, Donald Trump has been very vocal over the weekend in that he believes the Federal Reserve should be cutting interest rates. And we have Jerome Powell speaking today, and also the minutes of the FOMC on Wednesday. So you could very quickly see Donald Trump take to Twitter if we were to see essentially the narratives and rhetoric not be so much in favor of aggressive interest rate cuts later on this month on the FOMC statement. So watch out for Jerome Powell's speech today, and also the minutes of the FOMC statement on Wednesday. Bear in mind, hedge funds and money managers, they have increased their overall net long positions in gold in the latest week. We're trading at the moment around the lower end of the range, around the 1390. That said, if we do really see a significant break below the weekly lows, you've got a couple of reversal candles there also on the weekly chart. If you start to see more significant breakdown in price for gold, if it really does clear and break and close below the 1380 zone, that's where we could start to make a more significant decline. But at the moment, look for that evidence of support around the 1385 to 1390 zone. If we do find support there, and if we do see a dollar pullback off the back of Jerome Powell's comments or the minutes of the FOMC, you could very quickly see gold regain back above 1400, and then we'll be looking for a revisit back towards approximately the 1420 zone. So with that, that has been Gold Asset of the Day, and of course I wish you good trading. Now moving over to the Q&A section of today's Gold Asset of the Day. Thanks again to everybody who has sent in their questions. Some really great questions have come in. So we're going to start off first of all with Jonas. So Jonas has been asking, what ranges approximately are we looking at for the week ahead with gold? So over the course of this week, we're essentially looking to see the minutes of the FOMC. We've seen a significant pullback from last week's highs where we broke out to 6-year highs, back up to 1,437 US dollars per ounce. Now we're trading at 1,390. We're expecting this week approximately a 350 to 400 point range. We're sitting at the lower end of the range at the moment. So right now gold price is at 1390. We're expecting the support for this range to be between 1380 to 1390, and potentially, if we do get well supported at this level, a breakout back towards approximately the 1420 zone within that usual 300 to 400 point range. Those are the levels that I would look at. The caveat to that being, if we were to see a significant dollar breakout and the Federal Reserve, especially Jerome Powell, really signified that perhaps they're not going to be as aggressive with interest rate cuts, that's where the dollar could really rocket. And therefore, if you then broke below 1380 with gold, you could then start to see more significant selling. But bear in mind, hedge funds and money managers, they have accumulated again in the previous week their overall net long position. So I'm looking at the potential for a revisit back above the 1400 level, as long as we remain well supported between 1380 to 1390 over the course of this week. Again, look at the evidence of lower timeframes for buyers to be coming in at those levels on pullbacks for this week. The next question we have is coming from John from Nigeria, and also Mohammed, you have a similar question too. That's with respect to the best time to be buying gold and the best time to be selling gold. So if you look at the gold seasonals, you tend to see gold bottom out twice per year. So you tend to see gold bottom out in mid-December, and then you have that run up right the way through towards the end of February. And the second time of year where gold tends to bottom out is in the summer, so around June and July, which we've been seeing at the moment, particularly with respect to gold. And as we start to move into the Asian wedding season, where gold is gifted a lot more, a lot of gold imports do increase over this period. So those are the two times of year where gold tends to bottom out, in December and also in the summer over June and July. The last question comes from Nutsapo, which is with respect to how do you track gold and silver prices. So essentially what you want to do is you want to go onto your broker, the platform. You can see the chart behind me at the moment, which has gold price, which is currently trading at 1,390 US dollars per ounce. So essentially by logging into the platform, by then bringing up the chart for gold and silver, you're able to track the price. Thanks again for all of your questions, and we'll see you back here next week for Gold Asset of the Day.